Here in the US, federal authorities have begun the task of investigating what went wrong aboard the cargo ship Dali that led to a catastrophic collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. The bodies of 2 of the 6 people missing after the US bridge collapse in Baltimore have been recovered from the Patapsco River. US President Joe Biden's promised to visit the city soon, and he said that the federal government will pay to rebuild the bridge.
So dock workers were reporting that there were power outages on the ship during cargo operations. And the question becomes, okay, what's the underlying cause of that? Was it something, small? Was it rectified? We don't know. But, that's an indication of problems with the vessel. And that should have been communicated to the pilots who are Chesapeake Bay pilots.
Well, let's go live now to Baltimore, where DD India's Sally Patterson has been reporting. She joins us live. Sally, what is the latest in this investigation? What more can you tell us?
Well, Kate, we've now heard from the National Transport Safety Board, who's given us some more information about exactly what was on that ship that remains stuck behind me under the Baltimore Key Bridge. What they say is that actually there were several containers full of hazardous material on board that ship when it collided with the bridge, and some of that actually spilled into the water, and they say there was a sheen on the waterways. They're still investigating what effect that might have, but in the meantime, they're having to take extra care when starting to look at how they're going to move that ship out of the way of other ships trying to get through into the port. We know that the investigation could take up to 2 years now. That's what the chair told us in a press conference. This isn't the first time they've looked at a situation like this, so they say they know what they're doing. But they said they're not going to speculate, they're not going to come to conclusions whilst the investigation is ongoing and whilst they're at the scene. Now, interviews are expected to take place with the crew members who were on board. That's 2 pilots and the remaining crew as well, to try and find out what led up to that collision. We know that the lights flickered moments before the collision took place. But before that, the ship was able to make a mayday call, and that allowed local police to stop traffic from getting onto the bridge, and that, the mayor and other authorities here say, inevitably saved many lives. Unfortunately, though, there were at least 8 people on the bridge at the time of the collision. 2 of them were pulled to safety soon after the incident, but 6 others are presumed dead, and we have been seeing their bodies begin to be pulled from the river itself. However, divers have had to pause their investigations underwater because of conditions here. They say that it's full of metal and concrete, which just makes it simply too dangerous to continue to investigate what's going on. Now, the other major situation here is the fact that, as I say, that port is still blocked, at least by sea. Trucks and vans are able to get in and out by road, but no cargo is being pulled in from abroad to the port here, and that's leading to disruption for shippers, for supply chains here in the US, and actually could have global impacts as well. Something to note is that coal is one of the major exports from the port of Baltimore, and India is one of the key receivers of that coal. So there could be impacts, at least in the short term, of how it's able to be delivered. Cars and sugar are other key exports from the port here. So we're looking to see if the government is going to take steps to try and mitigate some of those potential disruptions. Other ports in the area are stepping in to try and help, but it could take months or even years until things are back to normal here in Baltimore.
Sally Patterson, thank you very much there on the Patapsco River in the city of Baltimore.